Hey, I'm Steve.
Hey, I'm Steve.
And we're two old dudes named Steve. So, we just recently did a road trip, and you were telling me about, let's talk about just a second about the road trip. You were talking earlier about, we go to Memphis and do all that.
Well, we take road trips, the two of us, and I don't know if it's because they're close on our heels and we need to get out of town, but sometimes we'll drive from Little Rock to Memphis for the day, and it's fun. We'll go do different music museums and always eat lunch at the original Huey's in Midtown.
Yes.
And then take a trip across the street to the used record store.
Shangri-La Records.
Yep, and see what we can find.
Absolutely.
And come back. But then we also take trips to Muscle Shoals to see some friends of ours there. And one of the things that happened as we're going along on trips is we started noticing the churches along the interstate, and also took note of the steeples.
Well, and why were we doing this? Okay, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, when we did road trips, and we had to do road trips, I mean, we weren't flying anywhere. We always got mom and dad packed us up, got in the car. And, of course, what's the first thing the kids say when you get in the car and you've just gotten on the road?
When are we going to get there?
Yeah, exactly. So
How long?
So your dad had a very interesting way of handling that.
My dad was good about playing games to distract us as kids, and it would be anything from the ABC game where you read road signs and you one that starts with the A and you have to name it, and that was always good. He'd always win because we'd get down to X, Y, and Z, which is very hard to find.
Right.
And there's one time we're riding coming from Nashville towards Memphis, and he goes, XYZ, I got it. What, Dad? He goes, yeah, didn't you see that sign back there, X-ray your zebra today? Oh, dude.
And since he's the judge, of course he got it.
He's driving, he's in control, and you don't want to make him say, don't make me pull this car over.
Right.
Because that's scary.
Well, with my kids, I used to be, don't make me use my radio voice.
Your radio voice.
Well, and of course, my kids and grandkids came up with a new road game called Punch Buggy. Punch Buggy Red.
Yeah. That was a very short-lived game in my family because some people like to hit a little hard or do the knuckle hit.
Right.
And that would cause as much trouble.
That could get you pulled over just as quick.
One of the games my dad used to play, particularly here in Arkansas with all the grain, the big grain buildings, is he'd tell the smaller kids, he'd go, that's where the giant lives. He says, and we got to be very quiet when we go past this. And there's enough grain silos that he'd have the kids quiet for a long, long time. And I always appreciated that. And I tried it, but when I was living in Florida, there's not very many grain silos.
Not many grain silos, no.
But that got us all into, and along with Stephen, into noting, and being very observant when you're on the highway, and just
steeples.
In our trip, we always we started noticing churches.
Yes.
And then steeples on churches.
Well, and it was really interesting because I think what caught my attention was the fact that so many of the steeples looked the same. And so I decided, let's do a little research on this.
Steve's the research.
I'm the research guy.
I just want you to know that now.
And we won't say what you are, but
I research in the bathroom.
So, a steeple is an architectural term that is a tall tower on a building topped with a spire. And many times it also includes a belfry and a lantern.
Good information.
Yeah, well, and I didn't realize that.
Y'all take notes.
Now, the towers were not part of the Christian church until 600 A.D., and they were separate structures that were not part of the church itself. It was off to the side. I'm sure part of that was if it got struck by lightning, it didn't burn the church down.
Oh, absolutely.
I could see that.
Yeah.
And then later on, they started incorporating them onto the church building, and then they started adding bells so they could torment the neighborhood.
Well, wake up those sinners. Remind them that church is going on. And the reason the bell towers were separate at one point is so if somebody got mad enough to burn down the bell tower, it also didn't burn down the church.
Didn't burn down the church.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then, of course, the science, I didn't realize this. So the proper size steeple is the same size as the height of the church building. There's a lot to this. Now, I was really curious because so many of the steeples look the same. You know, did these steeples come from one person? I mean, they're fiberglass. They're easy to install. They come already put together. But I couldn't find much history about.
Well, it's evolution. It's an evolution. The steeple business is always, but there's always a salesperson involved.
Yeah.
Selling the steeple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, and that's what I could not find is the steeples that we see today. You know, it looks like one person came up with that core design. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
I knew you would.
There's a guy, and actually it was his grandfather that started their steeple business, and that's what they did. You know, they decided that there's nothing worse than a steepleless church, because if you don't have a steeple, how are you going to keep the people pointed where they need to be going every Sunday? And so there's a guy, and his name was Bob Smith, but everybody called him Chigger. Chigger Smith.
Bob Chigger.
Bob Chigger Smith. Yeah.
Wait a minute. That name is familiar. The Bob Smith is familiar.
Okay.
Is he related to the Bob Smith that invented the 4th of July?
Bingo. You know, it's a big family, yet it's a small family, and it's his great grandson. Removed
twice,
a bunch of times. And you know, Smith. It is a common name because in any city there's Smith Ford, so you know Smith is a very successful type farmer. But yeah, Chigger made his name selling and installing steeples. And so we have to thank you, Chigger, and all your family.
And I also understand I'm sure he grew into selling pews and Bibles and hymnals and all the other accessories that go along with it.
The church distribution sales business is a huge industry.
So the basic one that we've seen,
right? And there's styles.
So we got the basic one, and the one that I'm showing you right now has a cross accessory on the top. You know, and then there's the medium ones, and a lot of those will have either a belfry or the lantern accessory as part of it.
Yes.
Now, the granddaddy of them all.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What do they call that? The one that you're seeing right now. What do they call that?
That is called the Grand Stairway to Heaven.
Oh my God.
And that's the ultimate. That is the biggest and best you can get.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it looks like this one has the lights, bells, and clock.
That's right. We call that the bells and whistles model. It's the Grand Stairway to Heaven. And in a lot of cases, if a very wealthy lady purchases the steeple for the church, a lot of people say she's buying the Stairway to Heaven. And she really is.
On that note, I'm Steve.
I'm Steve.
And we're two old dudes
named Steve.
Cut.